Hey, guess what? Wednesday, May 29th is National Flip Flop Day. So grab your flip flops and head to your local tropical smoothie cafe from 2 to 7 on National Flip Flop Day, and you'll get a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie. Island Punch smoothie is my kid's favorite smoothie. Head on over there and get a free one from 2 to 7. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, you're on Tropic Time now. Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. I am here with Kimberly to talk about 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. And Kimberly, not Emily, did you hear my interview with Emily and Kobe last week?
So delightful.
Aren't they delightful? Aren't they
Also,
amazing?
my favorite part is when they say they named the baby after Valerie and Emily. Was it Emily or was it you that are like, yeah, the guy that totally dissed me? And like, everyone just keeps going. No one acknowledges.
I was like, so I guess things are going okay with Valerie since you named your baby after him.
Yeah.
And Kobe, of course, is like, you'll have to wait and see. I was like, well, I think you naming the baby after him is a pretty good indication that things are going all right. Yeah. Yes. I know. I love talking to them. They're so nice. And she was, like feeding the baby half the time. So when we put together the Instagram reel, I was like, put a little baby face over the.
So cute. Yeah. That was very cute.
But she's so nice and she's a delight and he's so easy to talk to too. And the funniest thing was when he said that he and Manuel talk all the time. I was like, do you speak Spanish? He goes, no.
That I would pay to see that conversation.
The two of them should sit on a bed.
On Pillow Talk.
I did like it when I was like, you guys are going to be on Pillow Talk soon. And Kobe goes, yeah, it's nice to be talking about other people.
Yes.
Instead of people talking about us.
Everyone on this show thrives. You could be the most horrible person on this show, but totally, if you're funny on Pillow Talk, I suddenly love you.
I know.
And I forget everything. It's like an abusive relationship. I'm like, but they're so charming. They won me back. It's fine.
I know. I love them.
And then they come back on the regular show and I'm like, God, they're horrible people.
I know. Horrible people. Speaking of, I'm so sick of Jasmine and Gino, and I'm so sick of these fake storylines. And you know how I've been saying for a long time that no matter what Jasmine says, he just says it back.
Yeah, like she did that in this episode. I wrote it down.
Well, what I've decided is that she tells him ahead of time, hey, we're going to have a fight. And if you can't think of anything to say, just say back what I said to you.
Mm-hmm.
I've decided that's the origin of it because she'll say something to him and he'll go, you are.
Uh-huh.
Their fighting is so fake and so stupid. And listen, the rumors are now that she left him or he kicked her out because she's with some guy that she met at like Lifetime Fitness or something. But then I haven't had a chance to talk to Matt and Jake. I was going to talk to Matt this weekend because I was going to ask, did you get the vibe that they were broken up because they just came to their live show?
Oh.
So
maybe they've decided it's a totally transactional relationship, which it always was.
Yeah.
And
true.
In public, we're still together while we have this show.
Yeah, maybe so. I really am wondering. I
usually try to pretend like nothing's fake. I want it to all be real so I can just enjoy it. I mean, it gives me more faith in humanity to think it's fake and that these are not real people. But I enjoy the entertainment aspect more if I don't think it's fake. But when she stopped the punching bag to bring up the payment, like, this is not how couples are. Like they have these very serious conversations right in the middle of another activity, but it's so clearly the show is like, okay, we're going to have you do this. And then you bring up this.
Right. Yeah. And we'll get to it. But when we get to them, I'm like, this was so fake for him all of a sudden to be like, I want to go. No, that's what happened because he could have gone to get a smoothie and come back. It would have taken 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I
had lots of questions about the smoothie. It's always the food that I have questions about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm very, very, very tired of their fake storylines. And I think that we will probably find at the end of the season that they do break up and then they're going to put them on Therapy Island or whatever that show is called.
Last Resort.
And that'll have to be it. Like we can't watch them anymore. Like we're done. We haven't
or like the
them.
kids actually going to come, that's the thing. If she really wants her kids to come, then she has to technically stay with him.
Right. And that's another thing. That's a listener sent me the text, like the whole like breakdown of like saying she's with this other guy now. And I said, oh yeah, but what about her kids coming? And the listener was like, she doesn't want her kids to come here. I was like, well, maybe. I mean, I hate to think that that's fake, but I would think she really does want her kids to come. Maybe
I
she
mean,
doesn't.
I've side-eyed her mothering many times on the show,
Yeah.
but she does appear to, she's a very good actress when it comes to the kids, like the crying. I do think some of it's real.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this episode, just then when I went down to take the end of my notes, I was sitting and I didn't even put my glasses on because I'd already watched it. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to take notes while I'm listening. And then when she was crying at the end, I was trying to look. I was like, are there any tears coming out? I don't have my
No,
glasses on, but I don't think so.
this time there weren't. That's when I was like, Mary Payne's right. This is all fake. She usually can squeeze out a few tears.
Yeah. And she's too much of a clean freak to be walking down the street barefoot.
Yeah, that seemed very fake. She's like wandering the streets like Mahmoud. She's just like, I'm Mahmoud wandering the streets of LA. Maybe I'll run into him in Michigan.
I
Michigan.
know. We didn't see them this week, so we
Thank
don't
God.
know if Mahmoud is still wandering the streets of LA. To keep an eye out, Kimberly. Keep an eye out.
So many people storm off on this show. I've never
Yeah.
stormed off anywhere. My life is so boring.
I've never stood up and walked away from a conversation or stormed off or anything in my life.
Mm-mm. No, it's just not. I don't know. It's we're just not like fiery people, I guess, in my family. But I did go on vacation with another family when I was like 12, my best friend's family. And we arrived in Florida and the parents got into a fight and the mom, we were all in the car and the mom was driving. She drove and left him at the airport. And I was freaking out because like my family does not do that. We're just like,
so there was like 6 of you in the car and she drove directly to the airport and told him to get out?
No, we were at the airport. She drove away from the airport, like to the hotel, leaving him. But then after like 10 minutes, she changed her mind and she went back and got him. And then the fight was over.
Wow. I will tell you that my friend told me one time she was on vacation with her, like really like, they're still really, really very close friends since high school, like still very close friends. Their families do everything together. They don't live in the same town, but they vacation together a lot. And that her friend got really offended at something. They were at some diner for lunch and they were sitting there with like their little kids at the time. And her friend got really like offended by something that one of the husbands said and got up and took the car and left them all there with the kids and everything. She was like, I mean, I understand that you're mad, but like, what did I do? Like, you left me here with like 3 toddlers?
That's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the husband had to like call and beg, like, please come back. Please come back and get us. Yeah. I was like, I've never had anything exciting like that happen in my life. Yeah.
People are just like emotional. I'm just not. I'm also highly medicated all the time. So it keeps my emotions really
at
level.
Yeah. Thank you, Effexor.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of storming off, let's talk about these people. So we've got 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Season 8, Episode 11, Weeping Beauty. That's a pretty good title.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're talking about.
Well, I mean, Liz cries.
Crying.
Jasmine cries.
Ashley Ashley might cry.
She always cries.
Jasmine fake cries.
Yeah.
Angela looks like she's going to murder somebody.
I took so many screenshots of Angela's fingernails.
I was obsessed because you mentioned it last week and I didn't notice. This time I kept pausing.
Yeah.
Now I shouldn't judge because I bite my nails my whole life down to the quick. I have major anxiety issues.
Yeah.
And then I get acrylics and then generally after a week or so I bite off the acrylics and like chip my teeth. So they're always like uneven and bleeding. It's gross. I'm embarrassed. So, but hers, one would be like 4 inches long and then one was like -2 inches long.
Yep.
And all different colors, which is fine because I got 2 different colors today.
Cute. I see that. Cute.
Because it just makes me happy. But yeah, I just don't understand what she's doing. I'm not on TV also.
I don't understand. I think that like her thumbnail obviously broke down to the quick. And then her other ones were long, and she had some that were swirly, and they were like pink and white. And then she had like her toenails, like the big toe was pink, and the rest of them were white. And she had on a red and white blue outfit. Why is she on our television? I've got lots and lots of screenshots. I'm going to make a reel, and I'm going to be like, TLC, don't do this to us again.
Don't keep doing close-ups of her hands.
In the words of Luann de Lesseps, how could you do this to me? ?
That's how I feel whenever they show her boobs. It's like,
oh, well.
And I don't mind. Again, the different colors are fine. It's more the weird lengths. It makes me think she's doing drugs, because anytime I see someone with like a really long pinky finger, I'm like, oh, they're doing drugs.
I think she probably had them all done right before she came, and somewhere along the way she got mad at Michael.
Yeah.
And a couple of them ripped off because she punched the wall or something.
Absolutely. Shit. Yeah, it happens if you're spicy.
I mean, mine, or as you can tell, I like to keep mine as short as possible.
Yes.
And the nail girl, Anna, that I love, that I go to every time, she's always like, short, short, short. I'm like, that's right. And I will get them short as I can before I go in there so that she literally has nothing to work with.
Yeah.
And she's like, why do it's really hard when you keep them this short. I was like, I don't like any length on my nails at all. I like them to be stubs.
Mm-hmm. Mine were stubs, and I got acrylics put on, and he's like, there's almost nothing to attach the acrylic to.
Right.
There's literally almost no nail. It's like I'm going to glue it onto your skin.
Did you get like the dip, or are you doing like shellac, but you're doing like acrylics? Like,
yes. Fake nails. These are fake. But they're as short as possible, because I type a lot, and so I just can't function with long nails.
Okay, well, cute.
Plus, if they're long, I will bite them, and it's really bad to bite off acrylics because the nail is it's all glue and strong
damaging,
chemicals, and it rips off your nail, and it hurts your teeth, and it's
a lot of reasons not to do that.
Yeah, it's just gross. Just don't.
You guys, Kimberly's going to be at CrimeCon, so if you go to CrimeCon and you see her, make sure you compliment her nails.
Yes, please.
Positive reinforcement.
Yes.
Let's start Weeping Beauty. Let's start with Ed and Liz, please, ma'am.
Okay, so Ed is just a little man in a big Jeep, because he drives like the biggest cars now that he's got rid of that scooter. Remember, he used to have a scooter in his first season,
and his little dog would be in the backpack, and we thought, look at this cute little man, isn't that sweet?
He tricked us.
We were tricked.
I'm pissed. Yeah. And he keeps getting rerouted by his GPS, which I kept thinking is symbolic, because he's like morally lost as well. I don't know. Okay. But he has dedicated himself to real estate now that Liz is gone, and he's working for a woman named Mitzi that seems just way too smart to have hired Liz. I don't know what Mitzi's doing. Is she not doing research on her people? She seems great. Why did you hire Ed?
I love Mitzi. You said too smart to hire Liz, but you meant too smart to hire Ed.
Yeah. Well,
Liz has escaped her captor, so we're happy.
Yeah, we're happy for her. Yeah. She quizzes Ed like about real estate, and we see her ask one question and he gets it wrong. And I loved it. I could stand to have him on my TV if it's just mocking him the whole time. Just like getting lost by GPS, putting mayo in his hair, and just being, yeah, I know. So Liz is back in San Diego. It's very sad. She's sending off her daughter to live in another country, where the daughter lives with the dad and the stepmom during the school year. And I was wondering, why does Liz not move to this other country? She could see her daughter much more often. She has nothing in the U.S. She has no job, no home, no fiance, and everyone here knows she voluntarily slept with Ed. Mm-hmm. She should go somewhere else, change her name, thrive.
And what is the other country? Like, we don't know.
We don't know. It was just another country.
Yeah, she does. In real time, though, she does have a new hot boyfriend, so that's good.
I just don't understand why she's not going. Does she have a warrant out? Like, she can't travel?
Who knows? In current time, she's living her best life, so we're happy for her.
I'm happy for her. Yeah. So she's like, right now, I thought I would be crying at my wedding seeing Ed in his outfit. Mm-hmm. What outfit? It's like one of those blow-up dinosaur costumes. Or like dressed as Cupid in a little diaper. I don't know.
It's weird that she didn't say his wedding tux or whatever.
Suit, his something. And she said outfit. And she calls her mom, and her mom says she calls him the P word that rhymes with click. I don't know if I can say it. I'm sure I can.
Is she prick?
Yeah, she called him a prick.
Okay.
And she says she's just shocked because things were so different after therapy on Last Resort. Now, he said the exact same thing. So I started counting out of the 4 couples. I think there were 4 on Last Resort. Yara and Jovi are the only ones that have made it.
Yeah, and they were a last-minute replacement for Colt and Vanessa because once they got to Last Resort, Colt broke
Right?
broke his leg on a trampoline. Never forget.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I mean, sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I
No, we're
hate
not sorry.
Colt.
Yeah.
And his weird Billy Goat facial hair. He grosses me out. So she, I do feel badly. Liz is like crying, like at this, everything has gone wrong. And she's like, I feel like the worst mom ever because I brought my daughter into this. And I feel terrible for her. I really do. It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like when someone shows you who they are, believe them. He
Over and
showed
over and over.
13 times they
Yeah.
broke up. And
Yeah.
all you just watch his first season with Rose to see who he really is.
So gross.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Liz, I just don't know. Someone hurt your self-esteem so badly over the years.
Yes. Agree with all that. Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad she's thriving.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I wish her well.
Is that it for them?
That's it.
Yes, we've said that we're not going to give them too much attention, but I think the most attention needs to be given to Liz. And even though I know she made a very bad decision with Ed, at least she didn't snap out of it. He broke up with her. So
that's very interesting. Like, we love a redemption tale, and like Stella got her groove back, or like waiting to exhale, burn all his stuff. But he did it to her. But at least she's out of it.
That's right. That's right. She can see clearly now that Rain has gone.
Yeah, that Ed is gone.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's go to our favorite. She loves it when we say that, Kimberly. Our favorite, Emily and Kobe. But Kobe.
She doesn't mind when you make fun of her voice, does she?
No, I told her that the reason we did it was because on that season that they were on, every time he would do something, she'd be like, Kobe, Kobe. And she would yell at him. And then remember when she was trying to get her wedding dress on, she's like, zip it. He was like, I can't zip it. Like, you're pregnant. Oh my God.
She got such a bad at it. They did her dirty.
I know. I love her so much. So, all right. So we're back where we left them, which is they're still talking about the word property. And the cousin is saying, she's our wife now. She's our property. And Kobe says, oh my God. When my cousin said Emily is our property, I was like, oh no, don't say that. And he kind of puts his head down. And Mom, Lisa, I just can't get over this gorgeousness of this woman.
I know.
Lisa says to Emily, are you okay with becoming their property? And Emily goes, listen, it's their tradition. I'm marrying a Cameroonian man. So yeah, like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. We're already married. It's for show. Like, get on board.
Thank God Emily kept it in.
Yeah.
And didn't fight any of it.
And Kobe says, listen, I understand your issue with that word, right? But it's just tradition, and it means we are responsible for her. She's a part of our family. She is our sister. It's not like we own her. And she's a grown-up.
So much better. He said, like, she belongs to our family. Not belong like we own her, but like she's in our family now. You belong here. That kind of, if you can say that word in a nicer way, and he totally does it.
He completely explained it. Like, we are responsible for her now. And it's vice versa. They're also responsible for him because now we're blending our families. And he says, like our sister, that kind of made it make more sense. Mm-hmm. And so Mom says, okay, because like she's a grown up. And he says, of course, she's a grown up. She has a say in our relationship. Of course, it's not what it means. And Lisa says, okay, like I get it now. That sounds better. Because in America, we fought very hard for women's rights. And the cousin says, okay, now we need the list. And David gets out the list and he says, okay, so what I've put on the list is an umbrella and a goat. And the cousin goes, we don't want you to tell us what's on the list. You just hand us the list and we will read it. He says, oh, okay. So
he's so nervous.
It's so funny. And he hands him the list and it says at the top, it says, knock door stuff, ?
Stuff? Just stuff?
So funny. So funny. And he says he wrote down the bride price of 1,000 francs, which is like $2.
No, I think he said, did he say $2 or $20? Either way, not enough.
Not enough.
He should have asked Kobe how much is appropriate, right?
I think he tried to, and Kobe's just like, whatever you think,
But
But
like he has no idea. You don't want it to make it sound like they are getting a dumb chick that like it's not worth money. Like you can have our cheap daughter. She's on
I
sale clearance this week.
I think, he said, like, I don't know their finances, so I don't know really what to say here.
Yeah,
And
there's it's
you don't want to be insulting, like, you don't want to be insulting towards your daughter, but you don't want to be insulting towards them either. Yeah.
100%. That's
Yeah.
why, like, when Kim Bali brought that, like, cow or whatever, that was way
Yeah.
too much of a gift. And that
Yes.
was almost insulting to them. So check with a local.
Yeah. Check with Kobe. So, so David says, the list is negotiable. We can talk about it. And Kobe says, no, we're not talking about it. Like, remember, like you just hand it and you don't talk about it. And he says, if there's something that they don't agree with, they will not tell you right now. They will come back to you later with something they don't agree with. So Kobe says, what happens next is he and his family will go and get the things that are on the list. And if they can get all the things, then they will get married traditionally. So David's like, okay, well, that's over. All right. So we made some food for you. So stay right there. We can get the food. So Emily goes and she says, I made the food. I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
She
Everyone
didn't
eats
give the
it.
sister any credit at all. I guess it
Oh,
looks better if she made it.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But what's interesting is she didn't eat it. She says, everybody eats it and says it's good. And Kobe says, it was a great success. And he says, listen, I hope my friends will also show up and support us and accept Emily at the wedding. So,
I know it's not tradition to have the friends there, it's just the family, but
yeah,
like if Valerie was there, he made such a hissy fit that she invited them to that bar instead of cooking. I wish
yeah.
he could have been there and everyone could be like, told you so, a-hole.
Well, maybe he ruined it by being a jerk. He
Yeah,
didn't get to have the food.
yeah.
So
But
that
I kind
evening,
of want him to suck it, you know? I
well, we
like
do.
want
We listen, Emily and Kobe. I know you're listening, but we do want Valerie to suck it
that's
until
all I'm saying. Hot take, I want Valerie to suck it because and I
until
respect
they're.
his beliefs in his culture, but he could have been nicer about it.
That's right, and we're hoping he'll have a redemption arc coming
Yeah.
up. But in this
And he'll
current
just,
episode, we're still saying suck it. Okay. So now they're in the kitchen that night, and they're being really cute. And he says, I'm very happy. The day was a success. And she's like, I'm so happy everyone liked the food I made. And then she goes, I even tried it. Which is, I like that she made it and then was like, I'm going to make this. I'm still not going to fucking eat it. But all of you eat it. And I bet it's good. Yeah. um, and then she says, am I your property? And he laughs and says, no, no, no. And he says, not so much. I'm just responsible for your well being. And then she's like, I want to be your property.
I knew
I was like,
have
uh
some fun role playing with that.
oh, and then they kiss. So they're super cute. And then she says, I have to talk to you about an unsettling in my mind, which I thought was an interesting way to say that. Um, and she says, I really want to know about what Valerie said. And then we see the clip, from the handball game and said, that you still had this girlfriend when you were dating me in China because you said you did not have that girlfriend. And I want to meet her and get the real story. He's like, what? And she goes, yeah, I want to meet her. And he goes, that makes no sense. And she goes, no, it makes all the sense. And then she starts going, why does it bother you? It makes me wonder if you're telling the truth. You're being a little defensive. And he's like, oh my gosh. All right. So he says, all right, I'll text her. And then she's like, say, I want to meet you for lunch with my wife. So he does.
Yeah.
And it's cute. And they're going to meet. And there you go. There you have it.
I'm excited to find out if Valerie was just trying to stir things up or if there really is drama. I mean, it's over now. They have children together, whatever.
Yes.
But it's nice to know the truth, especially if you've gone all this way, you're on the other side of the world. Yeah. Meet the lady. It can't hurt,
Yeah, I mean, if she's not mad about the breakup or anything, and they ended as friends and they have friends in common, I don't think there's any problem with meeting the person. I mean, you've been married and you have, at this point, 2 kids.
Yeah.
So, like, she's pretty locked and loaded there,
Mm-hmm.
So, didn't you think it was interesting what Emily said about her dress? Her dress, did you hear what she said about it was blue and it dyed her skin blue because it hadn't dried yet?
That's like when they play the X-Men, that one character, all the actresses get their skin painted all blue, like a Smurf.
Yes, or what's the other one? The Aqua movie. What's the one? It's a Jim Cameron movie, and everybody's blue. What's it called?
Avatar.
Avatar. I was so close. Um, okay, but I did tell you the story already that she told me, right? Did I tell you the story, or did I tell it on Hey Bunky? I told the story that she told me, and she said I could tell it about when
Yes.
they got pulled over by the police.
Yes. Yes. How
Okay.
scary that was. And
Yes.
they pulled
Okay.
her into the booth. And yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Um, all right, Loren and Alexi, let's talk about them real quick. Poor Loren, the amount of photos and gifs and memes that have got to be made about her in this moo and she looks like a hunchback because she can't stand up. And she's all wrapped up and she's in that moo. You know, she can't take a shower. She can't do anything. I mean,
It
it
looks
is
a
comical.
like a Halloween costume of a
Yes.
kid dressed up like an old lady with a walker and the socks pulled up.
Yes, it is so funny. And so she's headed home in her moo and Alex is insistent that they have Rosh Hashanah together. So they walk in, and poor Lauren looks completely crazy. She's like looking around, and her
Looks like
mom,
Gollum or something
she does,
because
poor
her face
thing.
is all bandaged up.
Yes. And her mom's like, hi, and like blows her a kiss from across the kitchen. It's like, I don't know what's going on here. So she sits because Alex and her mom, Marlene, are going to go through the fridge. Marlene is such a perfect name for her mom, by the way. It's
Yeah.
just perfect. Just perfect. So they're going through the fridge, and she's like, you know, it's really hard for me just to sit here. Like, I know where everything goes and all that. And she says, Alex is being so supportive, and that's really what's keeping me going. So he's like, I'm going to get the kids. So he goes to get them. And in the car, he's telling them, Mom has lots of bandages, has lots of boo boos. And Asher, I think it's Asher, maybe it's Shy, is going, she's like a big, tall giraffe. He's like, huh? I couldn't get there with whatever he was talking about.
I loved Alex's response because he's like, huh? Okay. Like you just go,
Sure.
sure. Okay.
I was like, did you read a book where like a giraffe had like a big bandage around its neck or
Yeah,
something?
maybe.
Yeah. And so anyway, they arrive and they're being so sweet and careful with her. It's really cute. And she, of course, is dying to like pick them up, but she can't. And he says her not being able to be super mom for 6 to 8 weeks is going to really test her, not only physically, but mentally. It's gonna test everybody. That's a long time.
God, 6 to 8 weeks. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
She can't pick up anything or do anything.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Because she had so many surgeries all in
Yeah.
one, you know?
Yeah.
So now they're having Rosh Hashanah dinner, and Alex says it's important to him to keep the family tight and celebrate these holidays together. And Rosh Hashanah is Jewish New Year? Question mark.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What is the symbolism of covering the eyes?
That's just something you do when you pray and then you like do this thing motion, which
Mm-hmm.
no one can see right now. So
No,
that's
just
not
it's
helpful.
like it's like waving something towards your face.
Yeah, it's almost like if it was like a scented candle and you were trying to smell it. That's sort of the expression you do.
Okay. Um, so they're all eating, and Lauren says she's really hurting because they're asking her how she is. She says, really hurting. And she says, it is more of a recovery than I thought, or what we thought, you know, with the drains and all this stuff. And Dad says, well, maybe we shouldn't have come. We don't have to celebrate tonight. And Lauren says, no, we've got a lot to celebrate because, like, Alex's dad is here and, like, I'm doing okay. And we have these wonderful kids. And Dad says, yeah, but, like, it's a lot to do to put on the celebration. And Mom says, well, she didn't do any of it. Marlene. Marlene.
I cannot stand this woman.
Marlene, if you got nothing nice to say.
And I think there might be like a divide of people who didn't watch their spin-off show
Mm-hmm.
and people who did. Because if you watched their spin-off show, Loren and Alexi,
Yeah.
this woman is the worst.
She wasn't great on their season either.
No, but way worse on their spin-off. She threatened to slap Loren on camera.
Mm.
She called her like horrible things, like just horrible, like a Swaylu's mom level horrible.
Oh, wow. What a
Yeah,
comparison. Wow.
just like a disaster. She almost ruined her baby shower. She gave her the cold shoulder while she was pregnant. Like it makes you see Loren in a different perspective. Like, because I'm sure stress is not good for Tourette's. Growing
Yeah.
up with Tourette's, and that's your mom
Yeah.
who's so like mean spirited.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
And so Mom makes that rude comment, and we see Marlene in a talking head, and she goes, I mean, yeah, I guess it was smart to do all the surgery at once, but also not really smart because it's really hard to do it all at once. Alex is being really great, but I'm sure halfway through this, he's going to be wondering, why on earth did we do this? Okay, well, and then they make a comment like, having kids is for young people, and, it's hard on the grandparents to take care of these little kids, which it is.
Yeah.
But there's 3 of them there and Alex. And so Mom says, I don't know why you did all this. And she goes, I know, but it's my decision. And Mom goes, it was your decision, so no complaining allowed. It's just hard for me to see you like this. I was like, oh, you had to add that in, but I don't think it's hard for you at all.
No, I think you're enjoying it.
So Alex helps her get into the bed, and she, tries to get comfortable, and she gets her head bandaged back on and stuff. And she gets in bed to rest, and the producers talk to her, and she says, I really appreciate everybody helping me so much. It's going to be a long recovery, and I really appreciate it so much. But what I don't appreciate is my mom judging and criticizing and critiquing every little thing that I do. And yeah, I chose it. Yeah, I chose it, but I just didn't realize how bad it would be. And I'm sure, like, she's 3 days post-surgery, and she's got her mom being so hateful. She's probably on Percocet every 4 hours, and she's probably, that messes with your emotions. And just, like, chill out, Marlene.
I tend to be that kind of bitch where I'm just like, well, you chose, like, if someone's complaining about their kids a lot, I'm always like, well,
you chose to have the kids.
You chose to have 7 children, so it's going to be hard to have 7 children. Like, I'm not that nice, but, like, this is her child. You're watching your child in pain, and you're, like, smirking about it.
She doesn't. Yeah.
That just shows, like, how horrible she is.
It's like you see the dad, and like, the dad, does he not say anything to his wife, like, don't speak to our kid like that? Or
he kind of got stuck in the middle during their last season during this huge fight, and he ended up kind of breaking the ice, like caving, but it's hard for him to stand up to that woman. Yeah.
I feel like I remember in their season, like, Loren locking herself in the bathroom, the dad trying to get her out, and like, yeah. It was a long time ago.
It's a weird family dynamics, and there's a sister, and the sister was giving her the cold shoulder because she was still living with the parents, so she felt like she had to go along with the parents. So, like, it totally divided the family. It was horrible.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Let's move on to Patrick and Thais. Man, did Patrick's head look teeny tiny and round in this episode. Like, his head looks like a little marble sitting on top of his body.
That's the steroids that I'm not saying he still does after he got kicked out of the Olympics twice.
I'm saying if he lost 100 pounds, he still would have that teeny tiny head.
Yeah, that's probably just the way he's shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we finally get John back in the picture. Sparkles. Let me find my notes. Okay, so Patrick, like, limps over to see John, and he's so happy. I think he's happier hanging out with John than he is with his wife. She's kind of cranky.
On this episode, she's pretty cranky. Yeah.
Yeah. So Patrick has not told Thais that John is staying with them. I don't know why he did not arrange to get a hotel room or press John and say, do you have a hotel? Let's find you a hotel. But
Patrick seems to have unlimited funds, so he should have just gotten a hotel for him.
Just get a hotel for him, and then it won't piss your wife off. So it's her birthday, and she's left her to go hang out with John. And her birthday present that night is going to be drunk John coming home, going, "Hey, Sparkles."
They were drinking a lot too.
He drinks a lot. Yeah.
But I mean, Patrick was drinking a lot too. They were doing shots and
So Patrick complains about Thais's dad and how he wanted him to, like, kiss the ring. And John says, I may be in your country, sir, but you're not the godfather. And so he's trying to make his sound.
By the way, but John did not get the reference when Patrick says, like, he wanted me to kiss the ring. And he's like, oh, like the Godfather?
Yeah. It took him a second. So they drink beers and shots. That's when I started getting nervous. I wasn't nervous with the beers. I was very nervous when the shots came out.
Yeah,
I was like, they're going to come home so drunk, and Thais is going to be so pissed. So then we get John's perspective on the dad, Jose, which is spelled like Jose, but it's Jose, I think.
Or maybe that's just the way John says it.
Thais says it that way too.
Oh, Jose. Okay.
So I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but he actually John agrees with Thais for the very first time in their entire lives
Yeah.
that the dad is a user. And I thought it was both of their dads because but it's not. They have the same mom, but they keep talking about it like it's John's dad because John has spent time with this guy a lot. Like, so
I think it's 3 different dads with the 3 brothers is my
okay.
understanding. Yeah, and that's why they say we grew up with stepfathers because they each had to grow up with
So John says this dad is not to be trusted. He wasn't a good guy to them growing up. And he was especially hard on John as the stepson. And he maybe wasn't as hard on Patrick, but he also wasn't there a lot. So, and John's bio dad is not in his life. So he thinks Patrick goes way too easy on Jose. He says, you should hold some things against him. Like, you should have a grudge against this man for the way he treated you growing up, but you just want his love, just like Thais said. You just want his praise and approval and his love. So they go back to the apartment and Patrick says, I don't know how this is going to go. Thais doesn't want to see John on any regular day, let alone her birthday. So John tries to be very cute. Like, I came all this way to Brazil to sing happy birthday to you. And she's
like, get out of here, drunk John. Yeah.
Great. And then they sit on their couch for their interview, like way too crowded, the 3 people on this little couch. And Thais says, you came in smelling of alcohol. And John says, well, we had to do a shot to celebrate your birthday when you weren't there. He is funny, even if he would drive me insane too. I get why she's so pissed. Yeah. So Patrick goes, John messed up his hotel reservation. Wink, wink. So can he stay with us? And she's super pissed. And John's being loud. And she's like, the baby is sleeping. And John's like, I'm quiet. I'm not loud. Like, his whisper is so loud. And
that must be a 2-bedroom place.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, I thought he'd be on the couch.
Yeah, no, there was like a little guest room.
Yeah, it's a big place. Yeah.
And then John's being all sarcastic and drunk, and I get it. They just do not mesh, those two. But it looks like next week they're going to bond over their shared dislike of Patrick's dad, and I'm very excited. Because I think if they teamed up, they could actually get along.
Yeah, and he says, like, this is the only thing we have in common is that we agree. And he's like, maybe that's the way to get her on my side.
Exactly.
Which is hilarious. Let's move on to Jasmine and Gino. Let's just get through this fakery. It's so annoying. So Jasmine takes Gino to the gym and she says, I'm going to be a beauty queen, so you need to be a beauty king. And he's like, all right. And then she says he needs to lose 15 pounds in his gut that he has from eating frozen dinners for all those years, which is, probably pretty true. It's just a lot of processed food.
I don't know why she cares now, though. Like,
no, she's here. She's in the States. Who cares? Yeah. And she feels his legs and it's like, you need more muscles. And then he tells us like, oh, I used to just work out my upper body. And she's like, where? What are you talking about? And then she says, working out for the beauty pageant has made me less depressed. She was always working out. It's not like it's for the beauty pageant.
I thought she was going to say the gym. The only thing that's given me happiness since I came to the States was working out. Yeah. But no, she says the beauty pageant.
The beauty pageant is making her less depressed. So she punches a bag and then she accidentally kicks him. And he did not look like he was expecting that.
You're skipping over when they're doing the ropes.
Oh, well.
And Gino, she does it like a machine.
Yes.
Like, just amazing form and just like so strong. When Gino takes those ropes, it's like he's playing double dutch. He's like a little girl doing jump ropes.
I didn't even clock it because I just watched it and was like, I could never do that. I mean, I was like, I wouldn't even try.
You do it like Gino, for sure.
Maybe.
He does like 2 pumps and then he's like, oh, tired.
I would be so afraid that thing would fly back and pop me in the face, Oh,
I wonder how often that happens.
There's probably a fail safe. I mean, there's probably something you probably like.
I'm going on TikTok.
You probably hook it onto one end. I can't imagine that it can just fling around. Mine would be flinging to the right and the left.
Yeah,
and,
they're heavy. Yeah.
I don't know. Go on TikTok and find out. Okay. You guys, we love Tropical Smoothie Cafe. We have one right down the street and we go minimum 3 times a week. And Tropical Smoothie Cafe is celebrating the beginning of summer and the return of a refreshing fan favorite mocktail, the Island Punch Smoothie. Oh my gosh, my son loves the Island Punch Smoothie. So this smoothie is delicious. It's made with peach, guava, passion fruit, mango, and pineapple. Yum. It's so delightful in the summer. And also, did you know that May 29th is National Flip Flop Day? Does that sound like the best holiday ever? You know, I love summer and I freaking love flip flops. So kick off your summer with a free, you heard me, free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie from Tropical Smoothie Cafe. That's right, you're going to get a free smoothie. So grab your flip flops and head to your local Tropical Smoothie Cafe from 2 to 7 on May 29th. Flip Flop Day to get in on the free smoothie party. Terms and conditions apply. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, you're on Tropic Time now. So let's see. She kicks him with, he didn't look like he was expecting that. That wasn't part of their plan.
No.
And then she's like, Gino, I spoke to Elena from the pageant and she tells me you have not paid for the participation fees. And he goes, oh yeah, well, the immigration permanent resident status thing has skyrocketed. The cost has skyrocketed. And that's the first priority. And she goes, you have to go back to work. And he goes, yeah, well, I'm trying to get you settled here in the state. She goes, no, you left your job to play fantasy football. Fantasy football has ruined you. And he also did not look like he was expecting her to say that. Because when she said fantasy football, he's like, oh, wait, don't blow up my spot about fantasy football now.
Is this a real fight or are we doing a pretend fight now?
Because I thought we were doing a pretend fight. Don't be talking about my fantasy football. So she says, you need to go back to work. You're an engineer. You need to leave. You need to get out of the house. You're driving me nuts. And then she says, listen, you should have told me in Miami that you can't afford the pageant because this is my only goal when I wake up. All I do is clean for you and cook for you. And now you just crush my dreams as usual. And he goes, okay, all right. He goes, listen, I'll look at all the financial resources and I'll come up with the money. That's what he says. And then he goes, but all I want to do right now is go home. I have stuff to do back home. Well, we just established that you have nothing to do at home.
No. Do you have a draft?
Yes, a fantasy football draft.
Yeah.
And she goes, Gino, I just want to do 45 minutes of cardio. Now, this is where I think it's total acting because she says, okay, you say you want to go home and I'll say I want to stay and then we'll just improv.
Yeah.
Because then she goes, please, Gino, I really want to stay and do the cardio. And he goes, no, I'll bring you back later. And she goes, no, you never say that. You always say you're going to and then you fall asleep or it's too late. And then he's like, no, I really want to go.
Can she not get an Uber account or something?
Why can't he just leave her and come back? If he's literally doing nothing else and he doesn't want to sit there, go sit on your phone for 45 minutes. That's what a normal person would do.
How far is this gym, though? I bet it's $10 on Uber.
I mean, yeah.
So costs the same amount as the smoothies.
Again, it's so annoying because it's also fake. And so she says she has to completely depend on him to drive her places and she has to depend on him financially. She doesn't even have a credit card. She can't even buy tampons. And he enjoys making decisions about every detail and he holds it over her. And I just said, this is so fake. Okay. So now they're in the car and she's annoyed. She's like, I really wanted to stay at the gym for cardio. He's like, you'd worked out enough. It's fine. And he goes, we're going to get a smoothie. And she goes, what? I thought we're going home. Like you had to get home. And he goes, I'm starving. And she says, he only makes time for the things that he wants to do. And then he says, why are you so bitchy today? Is it your time of the month? And she says, you are the bitch.
So this is when I noticed that she's doing the repeating. He starts it the next 3 times. I wrote it all down.
Okay. Because she says, you're an idiot for saying that. I wish you had a period through your ass so you would see how it feels. And then she says, that's gross. And he says, that's gross. And she says, your attitude is gross.
Yep.
So they're doing a little yes and. Yes and. Yeah.
Also, how long does she think a smoothie takes? Like, I felt like she's like, I could have worked out. Do you think a smoothie takes 45 minutes?
Well, I mean, if he would drive there, get the smoothies, and come back, that could have taken 45 minutes. Right?
Yeah. But on the way home, I mean, also, those smoothie places can be very expensive. At least they are here. Like, for 2 smoothies, you're probably paying $20. That money could go towards the children.
Well, let me tell you what's not expensive. Plug, Tropical Smoothie Cafe. And guess what else? May 29th, the National Flip Flop Day. Go on in there and get your free smoothie.
I
Seriously.
love it.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. So then she says he's really trying to control me with money. And it's what he wants when he wants it. It's no consideration to what I want. And then he says, we're a partnership and she needs to know she can't always get what she wants. Sometimes she does and sometimes she doesn't. And sometimes I don't get what I want. Okay. So again, fake, double, triple fake, hashtag fake. So they're at the smoothie place. She orders an avocado smoothie. Now, some people clocked that it was like a $15 smoothie. I didn't look at the price.
I guarantee you those little boutique smoothie places are expensive.
And avocado itself is expensive.
That's true. Yeah. Also, she was so mad about the smoothie, but she's like, well, now that we're here, I'm getting one.
Now that we're here, what are your vegan options? So
I wouldn't have gotten one to prove my point.
I'm not hungry. I should be exercising.
Exactly. But she is ballsy. She's like, no, I'm still getting one.
She's like, I'll make you spend your money, Gino.
Yeah.
So he sits down outside. Again, it's fake. And because the cameras are all set up and everything. And she's like, what are you doing? And he says, I'm going to drink my smoothie. She goes, oh, I thought you had to get home. And she goes, we just live in your land, Gino land. And I never get to do what I want in Gino land. And then she says, Gino, the only thing that has changed my mood for good every single day has been that beauty pageant. I think every day, what will I do today as a person? Not as a wife, not as a daughter. And now you say you won't pay for the pageant.
Go to therapy, ma'am.
And he says, I told you at the fucking gym, I will find a way to pay for it. And she goes, no, that's not what you said. And you're just going to sabotage it anyway. And he says, all I've done, and this is where he's doing his bad acting.
Does she think he's gonna like Miss Congeniality sabotage, like with a bomb? Like Sandra Bullock, he's gonna sabotage the beauty pageant, or just sabotage her getting into the beauty pageant?
That reminds me of my favorite shirt I have from A Date with Dateline.
Really?
Love your hair. Love your hair. Hope you win. Yeah. I'll wear it all the time. And he says, all I've done is supported you in Panama and here. You don't appreciate it at all. This is the way you show your appreciation. And then she, again, just so fake and dramatic. It's like, oh, like me coming to America is a prize and I should be kissing your fucking feet. And she gets down on her knees. And the people in the smoothie are like, this is not what we counted on when we came to get our avocado smoothie today.
A smoothie place is supposed to be zen.
It's supposed to be calm.
Yeah.
And then he goes, wow, you're like fucking nuts. And, she really loves when he says that.
Yeah. Also, calm down.
Calm down. Are you crazy? Are you on your period? What's wrong with you? All great things to say.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I was playing the clip on the TV. I was trying to get like a clip of it for Instagram. Follow me at Pink Shade Pod.
Yes.
And I was trying to get a clip. And so I kept playing it like to get it just right. And Dave was in the room. And when he heard, and he walked through and he heard Gino go, are you on your period? Dave's like, ooh, never say that.
Nope.
Never say that. He's telling it to the dogs. Girls, you never say that. Never say that. So in her talking heads, she says, Gino's really changed. She's like a dictator now. It's like a dictator that wants to buy you a smoothie. And he says, I have a hard time. I know that she's having a hard time in America. Like she can't drive, she can't work, whatever. But, it all takes time. Like all these things take time. And she's just frustrated by that. Then they have a fight. And he says to her as a prompt, don't you want your smoothie? Because remember, you're going to throw it at me.
Yeah.
And she grabs it and throws it on the ground and says, you take this and you take your shoes that you bought me. And she walks off barefoot and fake cries. And
why did she take off the shoes? I'm sure he bought you that whole outfit. Are you going to take off that sports bra too?
I mean, so it's so stupid because she walks off and says, if I had the power, I would choose not to love Gino. Okay, well,
but the animal magnetism is so strong. She can't help it. Also, she says, Gino used to be my safe person. I was like, when he sent your nudes to his ex so that you got fired?
Was that was it? Or was it when he said pee in my mouth? Was that a
right? Was that it? Was when he's like repeatedly lied about paperwork and money and things like that? Was that
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think he doesn't even like Coco.
That I'm not sure I buy. Don't go that far.
I will say it was funny. She's like, nobody controls me except for my dog.
Related to that.
I was like, we all relate with
Yeah.
that.
Also, you do have children. So please don't forget about those sons that you have.
Remember when she was saying, like, the only thing that I live for as a person, not as a wife, not as a daughter, mother?
Mother.
Oh, we didn't hear that part. All right, let's move on to Ashley and America's boyfriend, Manuel. I love him so much. I do. I can't help myself.
So she, oh God, I can't with her. Okay, so Ashley goes to see her cousin,
Yeah.
who we don't really understand where she is at first, but she says she's getting some witch potion.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, give me some of that witch potion. And her cousin says, it's a medical IV. So
that was my favorite part, I think, of the whole episode.
Yeah, she's like, please don't get me fired. I'm not doing witch stuff here. I have a full-on like degree and a license and please, this is magnesium and B12 and things like that. And
Ashley's like, I don't know what's in it. Just call it witch potion and give it to me. Yeah.
And then the cousin's like, how are you? Biggest mistake.
Mm-mm.
Biggest. Ashley is one of those people where if you ask them like how you are, she really tells you. She's like, I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm confused, I'm on my period, my left ankle hurts for some reason, I haven't had a solid bowel movement in days. And like the person would be like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah.
It's just like, how are you? Do you need any ketchup?
Yes,
so
right.
She is telling the cousin everything, and the cousin goes, Jesus have mercy, because she's already exhausted. And Ashley just walked in the door 11 seconds ago. Ashley's an energy vampire. I don't know if we've said that before, but she is. Like,
that's a great point.
Which is ironic because she says she's a witch, and I don't think witches and vampires get along. I'd have to check my lore. But
I think they do. Or am I thinking of witches and wizards get along?
No, they date each other. They bone.
Right. Right. Okay.
So the cousin says, this IV is for dehydration. Like she's doing like a lot of people get them for hangovers and like energy. Yeah. Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
But or when you're at LA and you just pass out for no reason in your hotel room.
Or you're Mary Payne and you have a really weird, unexplained fainting spell. Yeah. So Ashley calls it a chakra realignment for the body. So you'd think she would lay there and like breathe and listen to calming music to realign her chakras, but instead she starts bitching about Manuel the second the needle goes in. Mm-hmm. Like, again, smoothie spots and IV places should be calming experiences, and these drama queens are ruining it. Yes. So she's like, the other day, Manuel demanded money for his family and he wouldn't tell me where it was going. And I put $1,000 in his bank account, but we only agreed on $200 a month and he's been asking for more. And I don't think it's going to his family.
Okay. But if you agreed on 200, why'd you give him 1,000? Like, that's a lot more.
Yeah, that's a lot more. Also, maybe he is stockpiling money so that he can leave you. And maybe he does have another family somewhere. I think he very well could be a scammer, but I kind of think she's a scammer too, with her $4,000 healing sessions or whatever.
Listen, we haven't had the session. We don't know how healed we could be for $4,000. It may be life-changing.
He's the one doing the healing. I know they say like therapists and psychiatrists can be amongst the most troubled people.
Yes.
But I don't take advice from Ashley. I just think that's a terrible idea. So she says it triggers me. I have abandonment issues because her biological dad wasn't in her life. So we learned her mom had her at 16 and she didn't find out who her dad was until later in life. And then he killed himself before they could form a relationship, which is terrible and would be 100% traumatic. But it's made her, she has not gotten over it or done the work, I think. And so she's carrying that into this relationship. Yeah. And she hates secrets. She always thinks he's trying to get one over on her, which again, he might be. He very well might be. Both things can be true. Right. She just needs a lot of therapy, I think. And also, she's been with this man for like on and off for like a decade. This is not
Yeah.
like a new guy. Like, she married him knowing this is one of his personality flaws, is that he doesn't believe that a wife has a right to know anything about your life.
None of your business. That's his
None of
catchphrase.
your business.
None of your business. Yeah.
So she knows he's secretive. They
Yeah.
don't mesh well together. So her cousin tells her that she should get a post-nup, which again, hilarious, because we're going to find out that Ashley is $100,000 in debt.
Isn't that wild? That's a lot of money.
That is mind-blowing to me.
Yes,
that
a lot.
She's like this and talks about having secrets. Like she thinks he has secrets. She has not told him. She's $100,000 in debt and they've been married for a year.
That is so much money.
That's like grounds for divorce. That's like fraud.
Yeah.
Like you did not tell me that you were $100,000 in debt.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Ashley's like, you know what? He abandoned me in New York. That killed me because he brought you to meet his uncle.
Yes.
He came with you to meet that friend that talks to aliens.
That's still the wildest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah. Like he when did he abandon you? Because he went to have coffee with Jonathan while you were sleeping?
He went to breakfast and didn't tell her. Never
and
forget.
she was sleeping.
Yes.
I get that she has abandonment issues, which are justified given what she's gone through, but like she's putting it on him. It drives me crazy. Get some therapy, which heal thyself. So I can't. So then Ashley and Manuel go to lunch. And the funniest part was when this bee scares her, because I guess she doesn't talk to bees. She doesn't have like a ocean. She doesn't have a friend that speaks the language of bees. It cracked me up. So, and they laughed for a second about how she's freaking out. It was like, oh, they could have something. They're kind of fun together for like a second.
Yeah.
And then they have, they also had like a beats, which is any Arrested Development fans will recognize a very popular scene from that show. That made me very happy. So he says, so that thing you did with your cousin with the potion, how much did that cost? She's like $50. And he goes, oh, little woman, in Spanish. And I was picturing him being like, what, Beth dying and Amy marrying Lori? Like he's actually talking, Joe cutting her hair. Like what?
I think he means like, oh, you stupid little lady.
Stupid little woman with a little woman brain.
Yes, that's what he meant. Yes.
I did want to know in this scene what you thought of his facial hair, because I know you find him pretty cute.
I liked all of it. I liked the whole look. I like his weird haircut. I like his facial hair. I liked his see-through shirt. I liked all of it.
Okay. Yeah. Fair, that you heard it here. So they start talking about their issues, and she brings up the post-nup. And she says, I don't want you in 5 or 10 years to divorce me and take half of my money. That is so rich. Ironically saying rich. You're not going to make it 5 or 10 years the way this marriage is going.
I hope
That's
they do.
Funny, but I hope you do. I wish you well. But also, which you don't have any money. What money of yours is he going to get half of? You're $100,000 in debt. She has like such strong beliefs, maybe in her business abilities as the witch business. She's
but
like,
also don't forget, she's a spin instructor.
Oh yeah, she's a spin instructor.
Yeah.
She could be rolling in dough. Mm-hmm. So he says like the nicest things he's ever said to her. He says, I did not marry you for money. I married you because I love you. I want a family with you. I want to grow old with you.
Sweet.
And very sweet. And then he's like, but you have this distrust of me. And you start listening to your cousin in your ear and your mom in your ear. And it just gets worse. And she says, can we just go see a lawyer? And he says, 1 second, he's eating this chicken. And he's like, delicioso. And like he has to like suck the meat off the bone before he can finish. And he's pondering and he goes, okay, we can go to the lawyer.
Yeah. He just wanted to really enjoy that bite of chicken before he had to answer. Yeah.
I don't get it because when I'm eating, it's like happy, positive vibes only. I want to enjoy this meal. And on this show, they have like the most serious fights ever on when they're eating, and I don't get it.
I
So,
agree with that.
uh, so she hopes he behaves himself at the lawyers. Now, again, like she's not the one that's caused every single public fight that they've ever had.
She's like, I hope they have a nice big bathroom at the lawyer's office.
Exactly. Like she's
Yeah.
the one who causes a scene.
Yeah.
He usually just walks off,
He just usually laughs in her face, which makes
laughs
it
in her
worse.
face, which makes it
Yeah.
worse, and then
Yeah.
he walks off and she's screaming. So, but she hopes he behaves himself. And so I hope he doesn't behave himself. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I hope he flips a table and throws a fake leg like housewife style because he should. I would if someone was married to me for a year and
Yeah.
would tell me they were $100,000 in debt.
That's crazy. I mean, she hinted at it when they were talking about the wedding planning. I remember her saying, like, I've got a lot of debt, but like, it doesn't matter. The wedding's important.
Also, he should have asked questions. That's fair too. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
definitely should have found out finances, especially like he has kids and a
Yeah.
family he's trying to send money to. He seems to think she's rich because she goes to Starbucks 10 times a day, but
Well,
which maybe
that,
that's why she's in debt. Starbucks can be very expensive.
yeah, we need to send her some Starbucks cards. Every so often I look at my Starbucks app and I'm like, look at all these gift cards I have on here I forgot about. Every time I go to Starbucks, it's like it's free. Because for so many years, like people would give Starbucks cards,
And you just
5 and
hoarded
10, and
them.
I just put them on that app and then I forget about them.
Okay, that's never happened to me. No.
I need to go to Starbucks. I think I've got like $30 on there right now.
I don't want to talk about it. It's
Get
embarrassing.
some egg bites for breakfast. Okay, let's move on to our final couple. It's Angela and Michael.
Michael.
All right. So she's sitting in her crazy outfit waiting on Michael, and she calls this very cute waiter over to order a beer. And she tells
What is that noise
what noise?
that she makes to the waiter?
Oh, what does
When
she do?
she's
Does
like
she go
trying to whistle? And she's like,
I thought you meant there was a noise here. I was like, oh no, we have a
I know
noise
it's
again?
that sound again. No, she does this like weird, like she's like trying to gesture him over, but she's also, I think, trying to whistle at the same time.
She's got a mouthful of dentures. She can't whistle. Her teeth will go flying out.
I can't whistle either, to be fair. So
I can either. I can when I whistle, I have to suck in instead of blow out. Okay, this is not for good audio. So she calls the waiter over. He's really cute. And she tells this poor guy her life story. And she's like, I English, Madame, Mademoiselle, no French. And anyway, I just say he's too cute to listen to her. So he goes away. And she's like, would you be interested in going out to dinner? Oh, God. So
she cannot not flirt with somebody. This is like her when she's like trying to get like breast implants and she's like flirting with the doctor and she's flirting with the dentist and flirting.
Yeah.
She can't not. It's like gross. Stop.
I know. She's so inappropriate. So she says she's just a nervous wreck because everything's in limbo and the interview should be just 20 minutes, but it's been hours. And then she says, only me and Michael could screw up a happy moment like this. Like, maybe this is why we're meant to be, because we're both dickheads. Okay, well, maybe that's
fair.
True. That's fair.
Also, most of the couples on this show have ruined happy moments. Even Loren and Alexi fought terribly on their wedding day.
They fought terribly. I remember about the bachelorette party and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting. You look back 10 years, like, was that really worth a fight? No, it wasn't. So she says, I'm gonna text Michael and see, does he want to come and see me, his wife, and he could tell me the good news or the bad news. Now she's slurping her beer and she's typing on her phone with her one long nail, one short nail, one pink, one white, one inch, 1 7 inches. And then she goes, ugh, and burps. On the screen on the closed caption, it says belch.
Yeah, that belch is like a nicer way of saying the noises that she makes.
I was like classy with a K.
Yeah.
So Michael walks up. The production's like, there he is. So he walks up and she says, you didn't get it? Did you get it? You didn't get it? And he says, no. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God, Michael, tell me. And she's just on and on and on. He's not, not letting him speak as per usual.
Uh-huh.
And he says, it's under control and we're still on track. Let me explain. She's like, nope, you said denied. It's not on track. So she's talking over him. So he says the
I thought he
consulate.
was joking.
I thought he was going to go, just kidding. Yeah.
But that's a dangerous joke to play with Angela, because she might. Did you see how she dismantled your car with her raw cigarette and menopause strength? She don't joke about this. But then I guess he's serious.
And he says the consulate saw in the system that the K1 was denied. And so they asked him why. And he said he doesn't know why it would be denied, right? So she says that the consulate, is going to contact the embassy in Lagos to find out why. Because remember, they're in the Ivory Coast because there was a backlog in Lagos. So they will contact him in a week or two. That's just the protocol. And they will let him know at that time. And she's like, we're stuck here for 2 weeks. And he goes, well, you can leave and I'll stay here. I didn't take that the way she took it. She took it as like, oh, I can just leave. And I think he was trying to be nice, like, because wherever to go back to their town, he was like, I'll stay here to wait for the appointment. And she's like, oh, you just think I could just leave? You just want to leave me here? Okay. She gets all mad.
You could say, like, I'm giving you $1 million. She'd be like, what, you think I need $1 million? Are you criticizing the way I dress?
That's right. That's right. Yes. And so she goes, oh, okay. Okay, fine. So you just stay here and I just leave. I'm just going to leave you here all by yourself. Oh, you really care about me, huh? You never say the right things to your wife. So he is just sitting there, just like so beaten down. It's so sad. And she says, Michael, no one has gone through what we've gone through. They don't want you there. And you're just too fucking confident in what the fuck you're doing, and you need to be scared. Everybody else gets a yes or a no. Nobody else has to go through all this to get a goddamn visa. So he says, Angela, listen to me. We're still on track. And the lady said, who filed for you? And I said, my wife. And then she asked, why did I move my case from Lagos to Abidjan? And I said, because of a backlog. And, I did that because of the interview dates. Well, he says, I did that because of the interview dates. Now, here's where I'm confused. And I did watch it twice to find out. I didn't understand. He says he moved the interview from Lagos to Abidjan because of the backlogs. He said because he never got the date for the interview, so he moved it to Abidjan. So she gets all crazy furious and jumps up in his face like she does, very threatening, physically threatening. And she says, you son of a bitch, you didn't tell me that. You tell me again. You tell me again. She grabs the paper out of his hand, which I guess she's threatening to rip it. So I guess if she rips it, that means like it's a big, important piece of paper. And she's like, don't. And then in the talking head, she says, Michael told me the embassy moved his case from Lagos to Abidjan, but now he's saying he moved it from Lagos to Abidjan. He has no right to make those decisions without me. And I'm sure the embassy thought that was very suspicious, because it is. And that's probably why he didn't get the visa. Again, we're not sure if Michael is doing all these things on purpose so that he doesn't have to come to the States, because he's terrified.
Blink twice if you need help.
Every time she jumps, he flinches. It's awful. It's awful. She's so abusive.
She's terrifying. And he is also doesn't tell her things on purpose because he's scared of how she's going to react. But then when she finds out that he hid it, it's twice worse. As bad. And he still keeps doing that.
He's been doing
Gino
it for
does
7
the
years.
same thing.
Yeah.
He'll keep something a secret for years and then finally tell her because he didn't want to tell. It's just tell them at the beginning.
Yeah. Yes. So when he says the thing about the Abidjan, she says, you just slipped. And he's like, no, I didn't. And she goes, yes, you did. You moved the motherfucking interview to Abidjan and didn't tell me what the fuck we're doing. And then she says a real stupid comment that she really thought was going to hit. She thought this was going to land. She thought this was going to eat and leave no crumbs. She thought this was the phrase that was going to get her to go viral. She said, he just does what he wants. And I'm going to tell you something. I loved him for 7 years and I could drop him for 7 more.
What does that mean?
Okay. you burn, sick burn. Like, that made no sense. She really thought this was going to be her
Yes,
moment.
please let him go so he can have 7 years of peace.
Yes. And it made no sense. And then she says, and on that note, you get you a room because I am done, Michael. And so he's like, okay, I'll just stay with the production. I don't care. You find a room. Who's going to house you with that outfit on? So next time on 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever
Next week
After,
looks good.
Patrick, Thais, and John go to Jose's farm. And immediately Jose starts listing off things he needs to get done. And John gets with Thais and goes, huh? You with me? It's bullshit, right? And Thais is like, yes, John is right.
I loved it. Team
Loved
up.
it. Yes. But I also feel bad for Patrick because he didn't have much of a dad in his life, and he is trying to like
It's
be
very
close to his
sad.
dad. It's
Yeah,
this little boy in him, you know.
I think he might need to go no contact. He still just like wants his dad's approval. It's
Yeah.
very sad.
Yeah. I mean, if John thinks you're a bad dad,
If John thinks you're a bad influence, like,
then yeah. Yeah. If John thinks somebody is trying to get money off of Patrick, when all John does is try to get money off of Patrick.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So Jasmine, they're sitting in a park and she's talking to Gino's family and she says, the reality is that we are not a happily married couple. And they're like, what? And then we see Gino go, well, as you do, talk to your family. We have a hard time being intimate.
Oh my God.
Because of all the hurtful things she says. This is not
No,
picnic
stop.
conversation.
They are not
Stop.
sex therapists. They are your blood kin.
Oh. And then her talking
Did you
heads.
see the reaction shot of Dana?
I'm sure he's like,
Cousin Dana goes
Dana?
like this.
Now, probably they had a nephew or two there, and they were like, we don't need
Horrible.
TMI.
Oh
And the talking head, she says, Gino has a lot of deep sexual issues, but it will humiliate and hurt him deeply if I tell his family the truth. So don't piss me off and pay for that pageant, motherfucker.
Has she not already told all of America about the peeing and the bondage and the what else? Is it the diaper thing that I thought? Is it the adult baby?
It could be an adult baby thing, and it could be the whole buying fake blue pills off the internet. And yeah. So now we see Alex, Loren, and his dad call his mother in Israel, and they say, how are you? And she says, it's a nightmare. And he tells us Israel is at war with Hamas, and he feels he should do something to help. He feels he should go back. And that's all we're going to say about that.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next week. Kobe and Emily go to meet up with his ex-girlfriend. It's so funny because these two women are walking up, and Emily's going, is that her? Is that her? Tell me which one is her. Tell me right now. I love them. Ashley and Manuel go to talk to a lawyer, and he's wearing a listening device for the translation.
Yeah, I didn't know that exists. What is that? Is it like a Google Translate that's just in your ear? So
haven't you ever seen
at the UN?
Everybody has one.
Yeah, you're right.
Or don't forget, TLC sent me this from Love and Translation.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
And it does any language. Yeah.
I love that. I just don't know why I didn't think about the UN. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just do it on Google Translate, but like it's just in your ear.
It's just in your ear. So it's like while he's talking.
If that has really impacted the careers of human translators.
Or I don't know if a human translator is talking into it. You know
That's
what I mean?
what I was more wondering because I kind of thought that's what was happening at the UN because I figured it's the UN. They probably have translators, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's automated. Actually, I was watching Chicago Med and they had a patient that they didn't know what language they were speaking. And so they had on some sort of service online that you could go on and find a translator on call for any language, really. And help with this like medical emergency.
If somebody knows about the UN, tell me, because I always thought that yes, every person in every language has it in their ear, but that it's also coming from a human who's translating it.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah, because it looked like there was a guy sitting in the corner with Manuel and Ashley.
That could be. I mean, listen, from Ji-hoon and what's-her-face, we've learned how bad those translators, the automatic translators can be.
Yeah,
it mistranslated everything. And the UN, that's like very important. You cannot have mistranslations.
No, a war could happen.
A war could start.
So the lawyer says, and I listened to this 3 times to make sure I got this correct. He says, in a marriage, you, meaning Ashley, in a marriage, you are entitled to half his savings, and he's obligated to pay for half of your debt. And I don't think he means that specifically man, woman, husband, wife. I think he means both of you are entitled to each other's savings and both of
Correct.
you entitled to each other's debt.
Yeah.
And he says, well, how much is your debt? And she was like, I don't know, like 100K. And Manuel's like, huh? He goes, I'm not paying that. Yeah. So, no,
Flip
they don't.
the table, Manuel.
Yeah. Flip, throw a leg. Sophie's mom, Claire, it's dark in light of what we know, is sitting with Sophie and
So
Kay.
she's back. Wasn't she in Mexico like last week?
She was, but now when she was arrested, she was in Austin. So, and
I guess they're very close.
Travels.
Texas and Mexico are very close.
Yeah, depending. And she says, "Do you truly believe that this is the guy you fell in love with?" And Sophie says, "Actually, Rob is a completely different person now than the one that I fell in love with." So then Angela calls Skyla and says, right when I said I can't stay those 2 weeks, he told me to go home and he will just stay here. Can you believe that? And Skyla says, that's because he's not trying to be with you, Mama. He don't want to come here. And Angela says, and she yells some more. I don't even know what she says.
Poor Skyla. Can we get some therapy for that woman?
Skyla is raising her children, her sister's children, who's in jail.
And her mom.
And her mother. Justice for Skyla.
Yeah.
Justice for Skyla. Oh, my God.
She must have to tote that egg. Like remember she was going to have to give her mom an egg or help tote it. Like,
no, she said, I could tote it. I just need your egg.
Right. I could tote it. I just need someone to carry it. Carrying is toting. I can tote it. I just need your egg. Okay.
Yeah. I ain't giving you my eggs. That'd be Michael's baby. That's weird, Mama. I remember when the show was so pure. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When we didn't know what they were doing off the show, the tabloids and stuff, we didn't know how horrible all of them were.
Yeah.
Now we know. Times.
I did just see something that John Yates guy posted, and it was like somebody wrote under a post of Michael's like, you got here, brother, or we got him, brother, or something, like meaning like you did it, you scammed her or something. And Michael had liked the comment. And so like they were pointing that out as like evidence of Michael being a scammer. I don't care. I don't care if Michael's a scammer. He deserves it. He deserves to be here. He deserves amnesty. Yeah. He's endured a lot.
He really has.
He really has. TLC, we don't want to see them ever again. We just want to see Michael being happy somewhere.
Michael in the single life.
Can you imagine?
That would be, I can think of other people I would pair him with. Sophie. They're both kind of mild-mannered.
No,
he needs
I don't think so.
someone who's not going to steamroll him again.
Who would it be? What about, no, she's not single. I was going to say Kalani. She's not single, I don't think. She's got that guy. Isn't his name Duke or something, the guy that Kalani's with? Kalani?
Oh, is it?
His name is
I don't know. I want Kalani to be happy.
I do too. Not with Isuelu.
No. Thank God.
Just give me my money. That's all I want. What are you guys recapping over on A Date with Dateline this week? As I haven't watched any Dateline, I want to make sure I watch the right one.
We're doing a classic Dateline called Toxic Relations, and it is on Peacock. It is season 23, episode 11, I think. And because Friday night was a repeat that we had already covered. So we picked one that we hadn't, and I think it's a good episode. So that'll come out on Wednesday or Tuesday if you are a Patreon or Super Cat. And we're going to be at CrimeCon, so we're taking next week off.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. And I've been listening a lot to Jodine Weber's Caught in My Web about Karen Reed and the Coburger and everything. And she said that she's gotten a lot of new subscribers because people are so interested in Karen Reed. And Katie's covering that over on your Patreon too, right?
Supposedly. We've dropped one episode, and there's a double or triple episode that Katie still is not happy with because it's a very tricky case, and there's so
There's so many people.
There's so many people involved and not involved, but like have very strong emotions about it. So I think she's just not really happy with it. She keeps like re-editing it, and I need her to just put it up and know that Patreon is a safe space. But like, you have to be really careful what you say about that case.
No, you don't.
There are people out there who are like doxing people and threatening people that are not on the right side, that they are like like I could get in trouble for this.
It's interesting because I did hear Jody say that there was a questioning going back and forth about whoever was this woman saying like she didn't know. It wasn't Karen Reed, but I think it was like the girlfriend of the guy that lived at the house where it was killed. And they were asking her, so you're saying you don't know her. You're saying you don't know her. She was like, I'm saying like I know her as an acquaintance. And then the lawyer's like showing a picture. Here you are in a hot tub with her. Here you are at a baby shower with her. Here, she was like, yeah, we're at events together. Yeah, she's like, you're sitting next to her in this hot tub picture. You're standing next to her at this baby shower picture. And the girl's like, okay, we're at places together. It's like, who's in this picture? And then she would say, well, it's me, and name maybe like me, Karen Reed, or whoever. Me, Karen Reed, and two of my friends from high school. And she did that a couple of times. She would say me, a girl I know from the gym. She wouldn't say the names of the other people. And Jody Weber said that's on purpose, because if she says their names, then they can be brought in as witnesses to the friendship between those other two people. So she said, you wonder why she didn't say, okay, well, that's me, and that's Jessica, and that's Suzanne, and that's, but she said, that's me and two girls I know from high school. That's me and a friend from college, and the person in the case. So that's very on purpose, because if you say their name and identify them, then they can be called in to say, yes, you guys really were friends. Why are you, I was like, wow, that's interesting.
And normally people would want to be involved with like a high profile case. Yeah. People are like, ooh, I could write a book about it. I want to be on the witness stand. And in this one, they're like, keep my name out of it. It's scary.
Keep your name out your mouth because it's scary. Yes. Yeah. It is interesting. I was just listening earlier while I was getting ready to Jody's podcast. And she said, I want everybody to be warned. I'm going to be reading some cringy text messages. And she says, and when I say cringy, it is worse than high school and it's awful. And she goes, I want you to be prepared. I'm going to warn you again. So then she talks a little bit and then she goes, here I go. I'm going to be reading these text messages between two adults.
Yeah.
And it's cringy.
Oh boy.
So now I'm like, ooh, I can't wait.
That's good. That makes me want to tune in. I hear cringe. I'm like, I'm not turning away.
Yeah. And the music she has at the beginning of that Patreon is like, whoa, it's like scary. And I'm like, I don't like it. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's just a plug for my buddy, Jody Weber.
I love it.
I would like to know at CrimeCon. So you guys are going to have a booth.
Yeah.
And you greet people.
Yes.
And are you like on a panel? Do you do that?
Last year we did a panel with Josh Mankiewicz, but this year we were just kind of overwhelmed with a lot of things going on. Also, my back has been really bad and I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to make it.
I know.
So we just didn't plan really anything but the booth, although CrimeCon now keeps emailing us being like, hey, do you want to do this event here? And they're just very last minute. So they literally emailed us last night and asked if we wanted to like host some event. We were like, I really just wanted to do the booth. That was like all I can handle. And then we got nominated for Creator of the Year again for the second year. And it's amazing. It's like so flattering, even though I still don't really buy it. I think people are voting for Dateline, but like,
they're not.
It's still really nice. And, so we now have to go to that award show on Saturday. So now I'm like, oh, I got to dress up and I just want to like hang out with people.
I know. How's your back? Do you have a contingent plan for your back? You've got like your muscle relaxers and all that stuff. I'm
bringing lots of muscle relaxers, lidocaine patches. I bought a ice pack that I can fill up. Like I'm thinking on the plane, I can get the flight attendant, can you have any ice? And like, it's one of those old fashioned plasticky ones that, and I thought, okay. And I got my lidocaine patches, muscle relaxers.
Okay. Good.
I'm going to make it.
Okay. All right. And then are you getting like another back injection when you get back?
Maybe. Yeah. It depends how I'm feeling.
No, just keep doing it. Just keep going. Just be like me. Go like every 3 weeks.
Different now. The pain is in a different spot than I got my MRI in. So now I'm like, oh, do I need another MRI?
No, you need another
higher
injection.
up. Yeah, the pain is higher up now. So
okay, you guys, this is a old ladies in your corns section of the podcast. By
hope
the
you
way, we have
enjoyed it.
some really, really cute stickers in the store right now. I wish I had them up here to show you. There's like a couple of like my dogs with pink sunglasses on.
Oh, so cute.
And they're like, then Ingrid made also some beach towels that have like a cosmopolitan drink on it with like my little face in it. And it's
Oh,
just
that's cute.
so
I saw the
cute.
flip-flops. Very
Yes.
cute.
Yes. Again, guys, Wednesday, National Flip Flop Day. Go to Tropical Smoothie, get your free smoothie. And also, I think it's 20% off Pink Shade flip flops in the store.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So if you want some, if you're into flip flops, do that. Also, the slides. She's including the slides too. The slides are like pool slides. They say,
Yeah.
hey, Bunky on them.
So cute.
We love to make merch. We love to make merch.
I love it.
I love it. And I make so much money from it. That's a joke, guys. I make zero money from it.
We make like 20 cents on like certain items. It's like,
it's fine.
but I love it. It's fine.
love it.
I love it.
I've got one of those shirts, David Don shirts.
I love that. Thank you.
I love it. I do. When I went just redid my whole closet, I got my T-shirts, and I have band T-shirts, which just consist of Pearl Jam, Grateful Dead, and Billie Eilish, and one Harry Styles. And then I have Ole Miss shirts and Bald Head Island shirts. And then I have a whole nother stack that's podcast shirts.
Oh, I love that.
Because I realize I have Dateline, I have Reality Gaze, I've got My Favorite Murder.
I love that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I got a whole section now.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, go buy our merch and please
follow on Instagram, Pink Shade.
Should I give you the current count, because it's just, once again, it's the saddest. I keep gaining and losing like 4 followers, and that's upsetting.
Oh, it's very frustrating.
But Deanna Chang, I spoke to her earlier today. She has 4 Instagram accounts. She says she'll follow me.
Okay, that'll count. Yeah,
yeah, I'm down 1 from earlier today. I have no idea why. I was up 4. I'm down 1. 9, 8, 80. It's 120
God, that's
away.
close.
No. All right, guys.
Come on.
I can't beg any further.
It's getting embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. All right, maybe I'll make a reel from this episode and it'll go viral and it'll do everything I want it to do.
Yes.
All right, I'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Thank you. No, you won't.
Oh, I won't talk to you next week. But you know who will be here instead? Next week, it'll be Chris and Wah from DocuSweeties.
Oh, great.
They will be here to take your spot for next week. Okay. Have fun at CrimeCon.
Bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.